Hello, welcome to Monday Night Live number 70. We're up in the 70s, so welcome. Lots of new people here tonight, I noticed. Ron's here, first time on. Well done, Ron. Got all the comments sorted. Here we're all ready to rock and roll. So, hope everyone's had a fantastic weekend. It seems like a lot of people actually know a lot more about Ned Kelly than what probably I do sometimes. So let me just fix this little issue here. So welcome everyone. Yes. Um, so thanks everyone for joining us. Tonight we're going to have a bit of a chat about Glen Rowan. Of course, Ned Kelly. A lot of people's there's a lot of divided opinion about Ned Kelly, and a lot of it's got to do with whether he's seen as a hero or as a villain. But and there's so much information on Ned Kelly that I'm just going to focus on the Glen Rowan siege tonight. We don't seem to, when we attack a big subject like this one, we don't seem to get through it all. So we're just going to attack it bit by bit. So, and of course, the siege happened at the 28th of June. So 4 days from now is the anniversary, 1880. So that's why we're here. Now, and I'm trying to do these events on the anniversary, so lots and lots of stuff there. So we're going to go through that. Just as a bit of catch up there, we've got this photos, and actually a fair few of the photos tonight are from Lynn Dutch. Lynn helps me out all the time sending some photos through. So yeah, so thanks very much, Lynn. You're a superstar. So lots on. Nikki's here, Mark's here. Aussie Toy Surprise, how are you? Great name. Dotty Bag's here, and Stacey and David and Shanna. So lots and lots of people here. So the weekend, we did a little bit of a test run on the weekend. I suppose you'd like to. Is one way to put it, at the lease. So let me just get it organised here. So this is Donnie ran, well, with a little bit of help from me, but Donnie ran a VLF training day out at the Lease. On the weekend, and from all reports, relying on everyone else's opinion, everyone had a great time. So congratulations to, there was a fair few people that found gold for the first time out there, and that was the whole idea of the event. That's Donnie holding court there. Right, so guys, are we having a problem with the mic? Let me just duck over here while you're looking at Donnie there. Let's try. Did that improve things, guys? I hope it did. We haven't really changed anything except for the should be all good, guys. So Jamie got his mug through the week. Roger, Nicky's here, Rodney. So this is the Lease out there. This is one of the creek beds, the old excavation. What I had actually is the microphone was actually starting to go flat beforehand, so I thought I'll put that on the charger. So turns out that I can't charge it and use the mic at the same time. So yes, so that's the Lease. Donnie out there, I think we had 20 odd people out there, a bit better than 20 people. and lots of fun was had by all. There was half a dozen, well, probably more, but half a dozen wanted to stay. But yeah, that was this. So, right, so let me just go through a few other of the photos here. That's me sort of helping out a little bit there. I was away for half the day, and Donnie handled it, sort of thing. This is Nadia here. Nadia's first piece of gold. So congratulations, Nadia. Nadia's always watching. She'll be here somewhere. That's the bit of gold there. So I think there was 4 or 5 pieces of gold. 4 or 5 pieces of gold found. They were all quite small pieces, half a gram, and below. But that's sort of normally what we're finding out on the lease. Here are the two girls got a couple of pieces there from the coast. So, and this is because we border the Fossa King area here. So that's everyone over in the Fossa King area. So yeah, so just a lot of timber around. So lots of fun raking and cleaning up and trying to get a little piece. So congratulations to everyone to come. Everyone, I hope, had a good time. Well, let's hope everyone had a good time anyway. From everything I hear, people had a good time. So that's the main thing. Now, I've had some questions about this lease too. There's lots of people concerned about me locking up GPA areas and Fossa King areas. That's just not going to happen, guys. Like, it goes against everything that I believe in to lock up Fossa King areas, so it's not going to happen. So the idea of me doing this lease is actually to open more ground. The beauty of this lease is you can come out, and if you don't want to come out, you don't have to come out. But you can come out, you can run a high banker, you can do these sort of things. You can high bank, we can move some ground. When everything's up and running, we'll be able to move some ground. You'll be able to camp on the site, even if you don't want a Fossa King on the lease. The Fossa King area's there. So it's I'm not quite sure why I'm copping a little bit of grief for the lease, but anyway, I am. So I just think people are worried about mines and miners locking up areas, and that's just not the purpose of this lease. So so a few people had a good look at the lease, so had a good wander around, and so for those who don't know, it's just west of Warwick is the lease. So it's just west of Warwick. It's about 3 hours from Brisbane. So yeah. Now we got a super chat there from Trevor, Team XP Australia. There was a lot of XP machines out there on the weekend. So it was a VLF training day. So it was really, really hot ground. So the VLF machines were really hard to handle. There was all sorts of VLF machines, a lot of XP, a lot of gold monsters, a lot of 80 golds, 80 maxes, and then there was a couple of odd ones. Lots of people are worried about areas getting locked up, and they're right. So, for instance, out there at Jurakai, where the Fossa King areas are at Warwick, it is all locked up. It has all got EPs over it, exploration permits over it by big mining companies. Now, if they walk in and decide they want to do something there, they will have to jump through a stack of hoops. But that's when ground gets locked up. you don't have to worry about me putting an exploration permit on and opening an area that's not fossicking area up for people to come in it. So yeah, that's what people are concerned about, that I'm going to lock up areas, so lock up other areas, sort of thing. So, and this lease was put on before the fossicking areas were put in. So, yeah. Yes, we are going to look at doing sluice high banker weekends. We will have a manufactured, well, I suppose you'd call it a manufactured running creek there. There's a dam there, and above it is a rocky creek that runs up. So we're going to do sluice weekends out there. We're going to have high banking weekends up there. We're going to do training courses. We're just going to have general camping up there. So there'll be lots and lots of opportunities for people to come up and do different things, and training courses and that sort of thing. So Donnie's here. Good weekend, Donnie. Thanks again for the mug. I love it. I know it wasn't your intention, but I do love it. So Jem Q's here, and Steve, and Damien, and Greg. Josh is here. Sandra, nice to see you. So lots and lots of people here. We haven't put any more dates in yet because that was a bit of a training. It was a training day, but it was actually a bit of a testing day to see how everything worked. Did the toilet cope, did the all that sort of logistical stuff. But we will have dates in the next couple of weeks where people will be able to come out. I think Cleggy's doing a bit, going to come out and give me a hand with a few of them. So, yeah, fantastic. Okay, so tonight's prizes. I forgot about tonight's prizes. So USB sticks with the waypoints on it, and a gold diggers mug. So we got a couple of them to give away tonight. So all you need to do is make a comment on YouTube to go into the draw to win the prize. And making multiple comments doesn't work. The random generator I use, we exclude multiple comments. So, So we will. So someone just made a point. Richard there made a point about the camper trailers. You can get the camper trailer and a caravan in there. We'll probably have 10 spots there, so it'll never be really, really crowded. So it'll be, it should be pretty good. So Eliza's here. How are you? Kieran, Chris. Yeah, lots and lots of people here. Okay, so what are we? We're 15 minutes in already, and I haven't started talking about my mate Ned. Okay, so Ned, June 1855, he was born in Melbourne, northeast of Melbourne, I should say, and started his bush ranging in 1870. So this is just a bit of a pre-introduction to Ned, our hero for tonight, I suppose you would say. And we're just going to talk about the siege. So the siege. Ned and his gang ended up at Glen Rowan, and the police knew about Ned, and they had a train full of the coppers and the trackers on the train up. Now the problem the problem really started when Ned thought that the train would end up 12 hours from the 12 hours, take 12 hours to get there. And it actually took 31 hours to reach Glen Rowan. So what do we got there? Benny Reed's here. How far from the Brisbane airport are you? The shop's only about 40 minutes away. The lease would be 3.5 hours. Matthew, sorry, I'm just reading these comments here. Yes. So, okay, Hobo's Gold's there, done the walking tour, lots of information there. Absolutely. So, here's Ned Kelly and his gang, his brother Dan, a couple other blokes, all bailed up in the Glen Rowan with 60 hot hostages in the end. So they're expecting the police to arrive in 12 hours. Okay, so the police actually took 31 hours. So you can imagine these blokes expecting something to happen and it taking an extra almost 20 hours for it to happen. So naturally you've got the Kelly gang and all the hostages a bit rough, not a lot of sleep happening, and the police showed up on the 28th of June, early in the morning, and this is when the siege started. So right, sorry, I'm just reading some of these comments. So right, okay, so the siege started. Now let's just jump ahead a little bit to Ned's. I want to focus on a couple of areas. Ned's capture, and then the fire at Glen Rowan. So sorry about this, guys. I'm a bit all over the place watching these comments at the moment. So I didn't realise I had to turn on chat. Only getting some. Okay, Dan Allen. G'day, Dan. Country Victoria Relic Hunter Mark's here. Nikki Bailey, Pasco, Keith's here. G'day, Keith. How are you? Keith might make an appearance in a show coming up shortly. So looking forward to that. So Ned, the siege is happening. Ned's escaped through the back of the inn. Okay, this is the point we're going to jump to. So, and Ned's obviously not going to leave his brother and Steve Hart alone. So he sneaks out the back. Now the bit I want to really focus on is this time of year, Victoria. Okay, it's a misty morning. It's about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's very, very early. Ned puts his suit on, his suit of armour. Let me just puts his suit of armour on and comes at the police from behind them. He snuck out the back. He circled around. He's come around behind them. Okay, you can imagine the fear and the trepidation the police were feeling when this comes out of the early morning mist down the hill towards the police. The police see this appearing, and it must have put the fear of God up on them. So, and to make matters worse, of course, they've shot Ned numerous times, a lot of times, and he didn't go down. So it's a very, very interesting thing. So here's a picture. Also, I'll just skip through a few of these pictures here. This is at Glen Rowan, of course. This is the big Ned in the town. Then we've also got a picture. This is Little Ned at the caravan park. So there's a couple of these statues around the place. And then, so just to give you a bit of an insight, let me just get rid of me and get rid of that. That's a replica of the Kelly house. Yeah, so that's the sort of conditions, the sort of hut they were living in, the Kelly family. Lynn sent me these photos. They're just fantastic photos there. Here's another one of the Kelly house. And this is what pardon me. And this is what sort of the inside, I'll just flick through some of these photos. This is what the Kelly house looked like, or a replica of the Kelly house. A lot of these are relics from that time period, or actual. So this is how he was. This is sort of how they were living back in those times. So yeah. So it's a very, very interesting time frame. We're talking 1860s, 70s. This is how Ned was growing up, this sort of thing. And 1870s he was running amok. So right, so Maddie's here. G'day, Maddie. Lots of people here. Let me just run through some of those comments there. Bodell says it's Bodell, very heavy. Said it would have been very heavy, very uncomfortable, Eliza. Yeah, Tin Man walking around. He would have been a daunting bloke. In fact, he wore a head protection over his head to protect him from the bullets, sort of thing. Well, to protect him from the helmet and the bullets hitting the helmet. So, Trevor, Ned Kelly was Darth Vader's great grandfather. That's funny. So, the bed is flash, and I actually looked at that bed there and thought that could be a bit flash for Ned. I don't think when you look at that and that, even that could have been a bit flash. Maybe not, but that one there looks terribly flash, because I don't think the Kelly family were terribly well off. So. Yeah, you can go and do a stack of these tours as well. There's some fantastic tours that you can do around the Kelly house. I've talked to some people that have detected some of the areas. Yes, yeah, and there are people you can go and detect. I know there are people that have detected the area and have detected bullets and all sorts of stuff. I would suspect it's quite protected. So I don't think it's open slather. But if there's private property around, you can get on private property. I think that's how people that I've had. This is the guy we're talking about too, Ned. I forgot to put him up earlier. So yeah. So right now. What have I done there? I'm a bit all over the shop tonight, guys. I feel terrible tonight. So I'm, Kyle, no flat packs back then, Kyle, I'm afraid, mate. It's all a bit smaller stuff there. So, right, so Ned's coming down the hill, right, out of the mist, out of the dawn. Okay, and Constable James Arthur he came across first, and Constable Arthur gave Ned a lot of warnings before he fired a shot, and it was actually, I believe, Ned's first. Ned fired the first shot, or raised his gun first. Now you've got to imagine Ned Kelly's. He's wounded. He's bleeding badly. He's And the reports of the constable says that he raised his revolver up and couldn't hold the revolver up and shot the ground halfway between the constable and Ned. And that's when the fighting started. The other constables, the other policemen around that were involved in the siege couldn't quite work out what was going on. They couldn't see far through the mist, and that was the problem. That's why the help didn't. It was James Arthur who did most of the shooting with bringing Ned Kelly's down. So Eliza says that her great grandparents used to have Thunderbolt round for tea. So yeah, that'd be interesting, Eliza. Whose uncle Lee? Whose uncle helped with the Kelly house till he died? Yeah, okay. Some interesting stuff there. Lots of people talking about Ned's height. Eliza said maybe that's a great grandparents. Yeah. So anyway, Ned takes a couple of shots to the head in his suit of armour, and that's actually his suit of armour there. Let me just see if I can make that a little bit bigger and make me a little bit smaller. That's why you can see some of the dents in the headgear there. Now that what they were actually aiming for is the eye slits to try and take him down. So Ned's trying to fire, heavily wounded, trying to fire the whole time, and he's getting shot in the helmet. Okay, and that helmet is rocking around that much that it's cutting him up and bruising him. Even though it's protecting him from the bullets, it's actually cutting him up and bruising him up and really knocking him around. So that's what's going on inside Ned's head. He's already wounded. He's already bleeding from previous wounds from the siege. So the Ned is walking down the hill. Is that buggered? He leans up against a tree to reload his bullets. Because back in those days, they had to reload. You know, it wasn't movie star stuff. It wasn't 67 bullets at a time, sort of thing. So, anyway, another trooper actually worked out that he didn't seem to have any protection on his legs, so he actually rolled over and shot Ned in the hip and the groin. So that's what eventually brought down Ned. So Andrew wants to clone another Ned Kelly. Get some. That's interesting. Wouldn't that be interesting? A clone of Ned Kelly. Yeah. So John keeps mentioning Ricochet. Ricochet was there as well. So was Joe Byrne. There was a few other people there. So there was lots of other people there, but we're just going to focus on this little Ned Kelly bit and the fire that burnt the place down. So what else are we talking about here? Andrew, you've thrown me a bit with the clone. Dan Kelly, his brother is buried in the southeast Queensland here somewhere. I don't know about Toowoomba, but yeah. Yeah, the suit's in Melbourne somewhere in one of the museums down there. It would have been a horrible thing to try and cart around and get shot in. Neil mentions here that he had 28 bullet wounds. So Kylie's here, Luke, Adam, Mari, Glenn's here, Simone, Steve, and lots and lots of people here. So I'm struggling with lots of comments tonight, but yeah. Oh, it's Jim Kelly that's buried in Queensland. I don't even know where. Where is Dan Kelly buried? It'd be interesting to see where Dan's buried. I didn't actually have a look at that. So it would be interesting. Well, Fitzpatrick, we won't get into it, but Fitzpatrick, there is questions about Fitzpatrick, who was the original policeman that had the big run-in with Ned, and there is big questions about that. I think the family actually were trying to get an inquest involved. So, Dan was buried with the family in Greta West. Okay, so it must have been Jim. What's going on with this ricochet? I must have been thinking about Joe Byrne or Stephen Hart. Anyway, Dan is supposed to be buried. This is interesting, actually. Or whether you guys are taking the, out of me. Buried in a cemetery under another name. No, I'm not sure. Dan Kelly and Steve Hart were buried in unmarked graves in Greta. That's what I thought down somewhere south. I don't know. We'd have to have a look at that. I'd have to look into where all the Kellys were buried. I don't really know where the whole family ended up. I thought it was down south there somewhere, but yeah. So okay. So Ned gets shot in the groin area, and cries out, "That's enough! I'm done." And he fell face down onto a stump. Then a heap of coppers. He was still carrying his pistol, and he was still carrying both his pistols. So a group of coppers, jumped on him and got the helmet off him. At this stage, the police didn't know who it was, and they were shocked that it was Ned Kelly because they expected him to be still in the inn. So they blew his nuts off. I don't know whether that's a technical term, Steve. Yes, I don't know whether that's a technical. Yeah. I'm almost sure that Dan Kelly and everyone is buried. Dan Kelly buried in the pauper section of Ipswich Cemetery. He says his true identity was Dan Kelly, Ned's brother. I don't know what's going on now. I think that let's have a look here. We'll see. So I don't think. Oh, well, that didn't clear anything else. So that didn't clear anything up. So there was a DNA test done. I'm looking here at a newspaper article. I wish I could share this page, but they're saying that walk in the Oh, they were talking about doing a DNA test to prove who was buried there. So there is a lot of doubt about where Dan Kelly was, but that's interesting. So yeah, yeah, I might have to have a look into that a little bit further, that Dan Kelly thing. So yeah, Sky, if you can, but it would be. I think they were talking about putting a memorial up for that person. So yeah. So Luke's here. Lots of questions about metal detectors. We'll get to that. We'll get to that maybe at the end if we have a chance. Yeah, Neil mentions here that Dan and Steve Hart were buried at Greta, but then they're talking about doing the article I just read. I can't have a big look at it. Clearly, I've got something else on as well, but there's talk of Dan Kelly being buried at Ipswich and them doing DNA tests to see if they can prove it. So, all right. So, yeah, like Matthew's saying, I can show you the grave at Ipswich, Ben. Yeah, that would be interesting, sort of thing. So, yeah, there seems like there is a lot of evidence at Ipswich. So, what would be interesting is if there's a grave at Greta. This is the bit that I find interesting. If there's a grave at Greta for him and Steve, what's his name? Steve Hart. How did he get, if he is buried at Ipswich, how did he get the grave there? That would be very interesting to see. So, yeah. So anyway, where are we at with the Ned Kelly story? Victor's here. G'day, Victor. How you going? Yeah. We might have a bit of a visit on the new MindLab machine, Kyle, at the end of the show. Yes. Okay. So, Kelly, Ned was buried. Ned was pinned, spread eagled, on the ground, of course, with all these coppers on top of him. Where was I? I just got to get a name right here. James Dwyer. Yeah, James Dwyer, who was a constable. Ned had killed a couple of his constable mates and gave Ned a good boot to what was left of his let's say his private parts. So that was a bit of an interesting thing. So that's Ned Kelly captured. Okay, you've still got Dan and Hart still in the inn, right? So Andrew says here, Road 2, Grave 27, Warwick Road, Cemetery, Ipswich. Oh, see, there's a conflict here. See, Paul's saying, no, Greta. Ned, we know where Ned was buried. It's Dan is the issue. We're looking for Dan Kelly. So, yeah. Yeah. Google says Dan is buried at Ipswich. Yeah, it depends on which one you look at. But anyway, that's not a big thing. So, okay. So the siege is continuing, right? Dan and Hart were still alive in the hotel. Okay. People getting a bit fired up here. Just settle down, guys, a bit, if you don't mind. So, there's a couple there that have a couple of messages held for review here. So, yeah, just go easy, guys. Well, Trevor makes a great point. It's normal for Queenslanders to try and steal Victorian's thunder. It is, Trevor. And gold. Yes, we do like to visit there, Trevor, occasionally. So, yes, that's fine. Now, so I've said this 6 times. Dan and Hart are in the hotel. They keep shooting all during the morning. At about 10:30 or so, a white handkerchief comes out, and all the hostages, the remaining hostages, come out of the building. So now the hostages actually, when the hostages came out, the police checked them over and actually found 2 Ned Kelly sympathisers, the Kelly gang sympathisers in there, and arrested 2 of the hostages. So, rightly so. So, the police didn't want to storm the place. The head man didn't want to storm the place. So they sent to where did they send? To Melbourne for an artillery cannon, a 12-pound Armstrong gun. So they weren't going to they weren't going to muck around with this. But Sadler, one of the other coppers there, decided to set fire to the hotel. So they marked, they got a number of bales of hay, put it upwind so the fire would blow back to the hotel, and lit the fire. At this stage too, I don't know whether I've got notes here on it, but Dan's sister was there as well, trying to get into Kate Kelly, I think it was trying to get into the end, but she was held back and arrested, sort of thing. Well, I don't know whether she was arrested or just held back, sort of thing. So anyway, fire's burning, place burns down, and he discovered the bodies of Dan and Hart, and they suggest that they committed suicide. So I don't know whether committed suicide is the right thing to say, or they were just caught by gunfire. I would not think that the Kelly gang would have commit suicide, sort of thing. So, but apparently no one's quite sure. So this is the day after. This is a picture I found today of the inn with the locals there the day after the siege. That's what all was left of it after it burnt down. So that gives you an idea of what the country was like. You can imagine a misty morning there. But I can't imagine these guys committing suicide. But anyway, that's the field. That's the day after. That's all the locals of Glen Rowan jammed in there. Take a photo. So I suppose Bill makes a point that it's probably preferable to burning to death, committing, a suicide pact, I suppose you'd call it. So, So Ned, so that were the couple of bits I wanted to cover tonight, and it's good because I've still got a couple of minutes left today. I have 15 minutes left to answer some questions. Don't forget to comment on YouTube tonight to go into the draw to win a Gold Diggers mug. I haven't actually got one out, so I should have had it out previously. Gold Digger's mug, and I will throw in a USB stick with 45,000 gold waypoints in it. So that will be inside the mug, ready to go, and you'll get a Gold Digger's mug. So that'll go out to the couple of lucky YouTube viewers tonight. That's tonight's little prize there. So okay. Yes, Lynn, I do have a picture of the headstone. Where is the picture of the headstone? I have other pictures here that I haven't shown. Lynn is very good with photos. She sends me lots and lots of photos. Thank you, Lynn. There's the headstone. What other pictures have I got here that Lynn has sent? Oh, this one here. This is the old police station. But yeah, so there are a few of the photos. Thank you, Lynn. I really appreciate those photos. It's very, very good of you. So, very good of you indeed. So, I love the photos in the inside. Right. So, Blake's here. Logan. Kyle. Nice here. G'day, guys. How we going? Right. Okay. So there was questions about the new Mind machine. Now I haven't heard a lot more about it since I last spoke about it. I believe it's a relic machine. I believe it's for coins and relics. I believe it's a coin and relic machine. I believe it's going to be. Oh, well, there's rumours that it's going to be cheaper than the Equinox 600. So, that's all I know about that's all I know about the what do they call it, Vantage. I don't know. I really don't know what the what it's supposed to be. No more information has come out yet. You guys might know more information than me. Blue Dog Prospecting. How about you coming to Del Morton on the 12th, 13th of July for a tag along with us? Heaps of people coming. No idea. Haven't heard anything about it. Send me some information, and if I can possibly do it, I will. So Greg says, what's the point of just a coin and relic machine? Get one that does it all. Yes, but the reason they do a coin and relic machine is because it's a little bit cheaper to do one that'll handle all. So, I think that Maddie mentioned, I think it's supposed to be fit between the 705 and the Knox, the Vantage. So, like, lots of people forget the 705 was a $1,000 machine 4 years ago. So, So, Jason says taking on the ORX. The ORX is really a very, very good gold machine. So I don't think the Vantage is doing that. So I think it's more the coin and relic, no ground balance. I don't believe, but what would I know? How many people have done the tour of the Ned Kelly tour? So people asking there, is the Gold Monster a good starter machine? If you're looking for gold, it is. There are sort of, I think in that gold price point for that around that 1,000 or just over, I think you're looking at Gold Monster, AT Max, or XPRS. So yeah, I think I think those three machines are all in the same mix. I don't think you can go too far wrong with them. Andrew asked about the air detector. Yeah, the air detector's fully financed and happening. So it's all happening. We're just waiting for production now. I am kind of hoping I can get one earlier. So it'll be good. Right. Oh, Gaz has found us on YouTube. Well done, mate. Thank you. Diggers Down Under, the comic chef, took some tourists on a tour yesterday. Well done, mate. That's a great handle too. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's a great handle. So, and lots of people, when I say if you're looking for gold, like all these machines, if you take a coin and relic to the gold fields, it'll be if you take a coin and relic machine to the gold fields, you will be able to find gold. It's just much, much more difficult, and vice versa sort of thing. So, yes, the rat coin, the token hunt was drawn today. I haven't had an opportunity to have a look at it. Phil, I showed a few results from the other day. I guess you're talking about I've only got a few photos here of a few of the nuggets. This is the one that Nadia found. There's girls found one. I haven't got all the photos here with me as yet. So if you weren't here earlier, there's a few photos. I'll just rattle through a few. There you go. So they're the photos from the other day. That's all I've got here at the moment, I'm afraid. So, I don't know about this Delmorton trip. I know nothing about Delmorton. So Raymond, what machine will win the World Championships? I think that I'm going to pick one that's not what everyone's thinking. I think an AT Pro will win the World Championships. There you go. Out of the box. I know a lot of people think, what is he talking about? But I think, Ray, that AT Pro, my money would be on the AT Pro to win the World Championships. What do you guys think? What machine do you reckon is going to win the World Championships? So, yes. So, Matty says an Ace 400, maybe. I think it'll certainly be a VLF machine. I think it'll be a PI machine will be too hard up there. 30-30. No, I think the AT Pro. So, and Phil makes a good point. It's not the machine, it's the operator. So, Deus, RX, Go Find 66, maybe. So let me tell you why I think the AT Pro will win the thing. The AT, I don't think it'll be an expensive machine. I think the contenders are really Aces, Go Finds, 705s, AT Pros. That's what I think. Okay? Now, let me tell you why. Because a good operator with one of those machines, because it's such a simple machine to use, you don't have to you're not punching. It's not about punching deep. They're going to. I would assume they're going to be fairly large tokens, so you don't have to punch deep. They're a big target, simple machine to use. Target in and out really, really quickly. I think it'll definitely be below that. I think it'll be in that sort of, 900 and below mark, definitely. 80, yeah. I just think these smaller machines, if you're an experienced operator with a cheaper machine, you're in with a big, big chance. So, because you don't have to go deep, you don't have to go small, you just have to get a target, get it out quick, and move on. That's the trick to it. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, the big like a PI machine won't win it because you got to dig every target. You can't tell what it is. Yeah. So, right. So, it's just about time to draw the prize. So, we'll just let it go for a couple of more minutes. Anyone else got... yeah, Daniel says a Garrett groundhog. Oh, maybe. I don't think so. So, yeah. Yeah, so I just think that... I just think it'll be one of those cheaper machines. I will not be surprised. And I suspect it'll be an AT Pro. So, yes. 23-inch coil on a VLF, Jason says. That could be hard to handle in with 1,000 people in a paddock. So, yeah. So that's what I think. If I was going up there to compete, obviously I'm going up there, but I'm not going up there to compete. I was having this conversation with a couple of blokes today. If someone rings me up, and don't ring me up because I've stopped doing it, but if someone rings me up for a ring recovery to go and find a ring, the first machine I pick up every single time is the AT Pro. So, I've got a few machines. So I just think that it'll be, I just think that it's, Well, I think it'll be one of those machines. Experienced operator, AT Pro on standard mode, just go bang, bang, bang. So, So, I should mention too, the gold price has gone over $2,000. I haven't looked since Friday. What's the current price on it? Anyone got the current price? So, we'll just have a quick look here. Gold price, Australia. What do we got per ounce? $2,024.53. So, cool. Righto. So let's draw these prizes, hey? So let's get this random generator going here. Let's have a look here. Gaz Gretton is our first winner of the mug and USB stick. So congratulations, Gaz. Please contact me after the show. And then, let me just run this here again. Let me run this. Why isn't this working? Okay, there we go. GTS Monaro Man. GTS Monaro Man. You're our second winner. You've got a Gold Diggers mug and the USB stick with 45,000 gold locations on it, GPS the gold locations on it. So congratulations. You do have to contact me, I'm afraid. So congrats, guys. I'll get them out to you tomorrow. If you contact me either on the phone, or on Facebook, or send me a message in YouTube. I will get them out to you tomorrow. So in normal gold diggers, well, probably not gold diggers, but more normal Ben O'Reilly style, I haven't got next week organised. So I will organise next week. I think we've got a kind of hoping to have some really, really good relic people come on in the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping for. I know we've got in the next month or so, we've got the last Cobb & Co run coming up. We've got Frank Gardner coming up. We probably need to do a little bit on some relic stuff. So that's what's happening. Fishoff says, can we watch the randomizer? Mate, I'm flat. Who asked that? Can we... Fished off. Can we watch the randomizer? I'm not that technically minded yet. I'm flat out running the randomizer, let alone getting it on the screen where you can watch it. So, but I will endeavour to do that, because that would be a lot of fun. If I could get something that scrolled through and did it again. All right, okay, guys. Well, again, don't forget, I'm here at the shop all this week. So if you need a hand with anything, or anything like that, feel free to give me a call. So thanks a lot for Oh, hang on a minute. Hold the phone. Gaz just says, hey, Ben, I did not know the prize. You can draw mine again. I already have both. Okay. Well, let me just fire it up here again, and we'll go from there. Okay. So Tim Arkansas. Yes. So that's a present from Gaz. USB stick in the Gold Diggers mug. Wherever the Gold Diggers mug's gone, I'll pick up an empty box there. So congratulations, Tim Arkansas. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yes, thank you guys. You are a sensational guy, Gaz. So thanks for that, mate. No point having two. Alright, guys. So we'll see you all next week, and look forward to it. Have a great week, and may you find some really, really cool stuff this week. Thanks, guys. Good night.